Alright, well, I got this email from Florida Gun Show maybe 2 days ago, and it came in at like 12:01, so I guess 2 days ago. It's from the Florida Gun Show. It says NRA, ILA, NRA stops UN arms trade treaty. I just wanted to read a little of this in case some people didn't get this. I thought it was kind of important. It has some good info in it. Pretty much states that important message to Florida gun owners. The Conference on the United Nations Arms Treaty has broken down and will not report a draft treaty to the member nations. This is a big victory for American gun owners, and the NRA is being widely credited for killing the UN ATT. For nearly 20 years, the NRA has worked tirelessly to warn American gun owners about the United Nations effort to undermine the constitutional rights of law-abiding American gun owners by putting in place international controls on small arms. The NRA became a recognized non-governmental organization and has monitored all UN activities that could impact on our Second Amendment rights. As a result, NRA Executive Vice President Wayne LaPierre testified before the UN, making it clear that the NRA would fight any international treaty that included civilian arms. NRA worked with all our allies in the U.S. Congress and successfully assembled strong bipartisan oppositions to any treaty that adversely impacts the Second Amendment. On 2 occasions, NRA was successful in convincing a majority of the U.S. Senate to sign letters to President Obama that made it clear that any treaty that included civilian arms was not going to be ratified by the U.S. Senate. This says yesterday, July 26th, which was a couple of days ago, Senator Jerry Morgan gathered the signatures of 51 senators on a letter to the President Obama and Secretary of State Clinton, opposing any treaty that infringes on our rights. The letter stated, as the treaty process continues, we strongly encourage your administrators not only to uphold our country's constitutional protections of civilian firearms ownership, but to ensure, if necessary, by breaking consensus at the July conference, that the treaty will explicitly recognize the legitimacy of lawful activities associated with firearms, included but not limited to the right of self-defense. As a member of the United States Senate, we will oppose the ratification of any arms trade treaty that falls short of this standard. I like that because they are explicitly stating that activities associated with firearms, included but not limited to the right of self-defense. That's where they keep trying to say that firearms are for sporting goods, sporting events, and for hunting, and that's the only reason, the only thing that they meant when they were signing the Constitution. They weren't meaning for protection, against the state, against the government, and stuff like that. They're saying that the right to bear arms was only for sportsmanship, which that makes no sense. Of course, firearms have been for protection for hundreds of years. I mean, it's the best form of protection that you can have. Really, it gives you the most distance between you and an attacker if you can get the distance. I mean, it's the least intrusive, the least you have to get close to somebody, you have to actually use a knife or a billy club or anything like that. I just think that, of course, firearms is going to be absolutely the best way to go in self-defense, of course. NRA members made their voices heard on this issue as well, calling their elected representatives and urging their opposition to the treaty. As a result, 130 members of the U.S. House of Representatives had voiced strong opposition to the treaty. During the past week, it became increasingly possible that the conference would fail to come to an agreement on a draft language. On Thursday, the conference president produced yet another draft of the ATT in an effort to salvage the process. The new draft, like previous ones, was wholly incompatible with the Second Amendment right protected by our Constitution. The proponents of the treaty have goals that are clearly at odds with the American Constitution. Their refusal to remove civilian arms from the treaty was one major issue that led to the breakdown in negotiations. The U.S. delegation made it clear that they could not move forward with the language as it had been drafted. While this conference has failed to complete a treaty, the proponents will not give up. It is likely that a new conference will be held in the future, and NRA will continue to fight to protect the rights of American gun owners. NRA maintains its steadfast opposition to any treaty that includes civilian arms in any way. NRA will continue to work with our allies, particularly in the U.S. Senate, to ensure the right to keep and bear arms is not threatened by this or any further international treaty. Which I just think it's the way to, the NRA, supporting the NRA is one of the best things you can do to help out right now. Become a member. The memberships are pretty out there. I mean, you can have a really cheap bottom line. I think they have like a $10 membership, all the way up to the lifetime membership and stuff like that, which, in the long run isn't actually too bad. I think it's like $600 or something right now, and really $600 for protecting your right, protecting your constitutional right, is really worth it. But that's just my opinion, of course. Of course, this whole situation hopefully opens a lot of eyes, and hopefully we stand up for ourselves, stand up for the rights that we have, and don't let them push us over. We are stronger than they want us to think we are. We do have a voice, and if we do band together, we can pretty much accomplish anything. I just think this is a good victory for us. Hopefully we keep our fingers crossed, and we keep going in the same direction. Alright, well, that's it, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this information was helpful for somebody who didn't get that email. Alright.